What we did is we went directly to our stakeholders and talked to early childhood professionals in family child care homes and child care centers, as well as our coaches, our advocates, our businesses across the board. And we listened to them of what were their challenges, where did they really need support, and then we utilized the outcomes from those focus groups. From there, we then looked at what our federal requirements were and how we could create effective, sustainable strategies based on their feedback. So that is how it started. And then from there, it's evolved as we've looked at best practices in other states and a number of the briefs that Early Milestones has put out that has helped us evaluate on an ongoing basis what the needs are. So we feel confident at this stage that we're really addressing the workforce crisis in our state based on what our key stakeholders really feel like is a priority. This was really a shift in how our Office of Early Childhood works. So before, I think how we tended to work is with our content experts, we would dig in, create our strategies, and then report them out to stakeholders to get feedback and refine them. As I mentioned, we really flipped that model completely. And so starting first with our stakeholders, gathering all of that feedback, and then utilizing that to inform our spending plan. So how we did this was, first of all, we created a survey in partnership with Early Milestones that went out across the state to a listing that we had based on the CARES funding that and some of the outreach we did for that initial pot of money. We had close to 3,000 participants on this survey address how they really wanted this funding to address their specific needs. Then we moved into focus groups. And so from the focus groups, we took those survey results and we wanted to dive deeper in a dialogue with people that were serving children as part of their day-to-day work and really hearing from them what they needed. So we were ensured in these focus groups that we had rural, urban, that we had ethnic diversity, that we offered translation in everything we did, and that we targeted communities that historically have been really underserved and we haven't included their voices. So we made sure that we had our family, friend, and neighbor providers at the table, that we had our refugee immigrant population at the table. And so we had our focus groups divided into, we had one group that was family childcare homes, another that was center. We had a third focus group that was our advocacy groups, like Healthy Childcare Colorado and Children's Campaign. We had another group, which is businesses, because businesses really need to have a say in this process because of how challenging it has been to bring women and men back into the workforce, and they need childcare. So we really wanted to have businesses at the table as well. And then as well as foundations, because it's vital that with the restrictions on this funding, that we work in partnership with our foundations across the state to see where we have gaps and where they could step in with some of their funding that's more flexible. So then from there, Early Milestones helped us to compile the data from those focus groups and then dig into some of other secondary data sources to bring back this, to inform us on how to create the strategies. After we did a rough draft of our strategies, we then went back to these focus groups to see, like, did we get this right? Is this going to work for you? And some of the more nuanced details that we really needed to get their feedback on. And then after we finalized everything, then we had a town hall just to share broadly with everyone in the state that was interested what our spending plan looked like. My key lesson in all of this has been how important it is to center everything we do on the voices of families and providers, and making sure you start there and truly hear in an authentic manner where they're struggling, what their needs are, and hear their ideas on how to best meet what their challenges are. I think that has also ensured that our equity, diversity, and inclusivity lens remains central in all that we do. We also, out of this process, established an Office of Early Childhood Family Voice Council that consists of parents with children, actually prenatal up to age 8. So we have a council that we can go to daily if we want to, as we're running these ideas by them, and just making sure that we have good policies that are evolving from it. And then also the other advice is that continuous cycle of communication to be really transparent and to build that trust. So we do our regular emails out to everyone, informing them where we are. We have our town halls on a regular basis, meeting with our different associations. And so not only that upfront communication, but then ongoing, making sure that we are working collaboratively with them. And then lastly, making sure that our language justice principles are embedded in all of our work with our stakeholders, so that we're being as inclusive as we can in everything